Hey guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23. Today we'll be looking at the JG SIG 552. It's a pretty awesome looking gun, really. I'm a fan of SIGs personally. Now the gun is pretty much like 90% plastic. The body's plastic, but you can't expect more for 150 bucks. But for that price, it is probably one of the better guns that JG makes. I've seen a lot of the guns, I've worked in quite a few of them. A lot are crap, a lot are decent. This is probably one of their higher end ones, so for 150 bucks around there, you're getting a really good. Now this is actually not mine, this is my teammate Camo's gun, and as you can see, he's done quite a bit to it. Now the stock gun is going to come with a plastic flash hider, but he elected to replace it with a short little, like it's like a 150 millimeter suppressor. It's a pretty little nice thing. I put some plumber's foam in it for him, and it dampens the sound just a bit, so it's nice. I also installed an old SR25 barrel in it for him, the SR25 short barrel. So it runs all the way through the end of that. This thing's actually probably one of the most accurate SIGs you're going to find out there. You can probably hit a man-sized target accurately 150, 200 feet, and it's only shooting 340 feet per second. So that's pretty good. I'm not going to do any kind of range testing or internal looks at this gun. It's just going to be a quick overview just to kind of check it out, get a look at it. Now most of the internals are stock, of course, but they're not stock to JG. There are a lot of stock internal parts from other companies, A&K, JG, Echo One, stuff like that. It's actually sounding really good right now. It's got a good rotational rate of about 18 rounds per second on the stock JG mode. Now he's been running this 10.8 volt 1200 mAh battery on it for a long time, and I'm amazed it's lasted. It's running really, really smoothly. He also uses these Mag brand mid-capacity mags, so it looks pretty nice to me. He's got, I believe, 6 of these, and they're 100, 110 rounds a piece. So he goes out in the woods with these, and he took the little the notches off the sides that interlock the mags together. So they actually fit really nicely in his pouches that he has. He's got one of those vests that has only like 3 pouches, so he fits 6 of these in there. Fits really nicely. So let's put the gun down on the table and check it out. Now as always, I'll start the gun review from the back of the gun, work my way forward. The stock is ABS plastic, just like the rest of the gun pretty much. It's got a rubber butt plate, locks into your shoulder really nicely, pretty comfortable. Lightweight stock. Little bit of wobble, but hardly anything. It's a little bit of electrical tape can fix that, no problem. Really good material. You do have a little sling loop here, but it's all plastic, so if you put a lot of stress on it, it is going to crack and break. Since it's a SIG 552, it does have the stock folding feature. You press the tab in, and the stock can mechanically fold. The stock will lock into place using this little notch here at the top of the stock, and this little divot that sticks out of the right side of the handguard. Moving up the gun a little bit here, we have the main receiver, the left side of it specifically. You have your fire selector here, safe, semi, and full auto. Swivels around quite a bit, similar to a G36 series, so you can push it all the way forward and it sticks into place pretty nicely. A little bit of wiggle, but it does click into place well enough, so you can't really argue with that. The rear sight, thank God, is all metal. It's got a basket sight here, similar to an HK MP5. That's pretty nice. Little sling loop here, you can see it's a little used, it's got some wear on it. So if you don't want to use the one on the stock, you can use the one right here. Now the bolt release is right here. I've got this glued into place because every time we take it out, it ends up falling out, we lose it. And we've gone through a bunch of spares and it's just a pain in the butt. So I glued that in place. It doesn't work, it never has, though I wish it did. It does work on other models like the ICS and the G&G. The gun does have an upper rail. It does come with it, which is pretty nice. It's all metal, and it won't wobble at all if you have it pretty tight on there. The trigger guard is actually a really nice feature. It actually swivels back and forth, so if you got gloves on or something, or you just got really fat fingers, you can swivel it around. Great feature, I love it. I've always got my trigger guard swiveled to the right, so I don't really have a trigger guard to use because I'm a right-handed guy. This feels really good to me. The magwell, magazine release, and magazine all function just like an AK style. Press it in, pop it out, put the front of the magazine in, and it pops into place. A little bit of wobble with a plastic body, of course, but you can't really do anything about that. You can use electrical tape to kind of reduce the wobble, but you know, it's not really that big a deal. I'm fine with it. On the opposite side of the receiver, you can see the selector switch is a little different. It does maneuver the same way, but the markings are a little different, so it's kind of cool. The bolt is a little wobbly, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't blow back and it doesn't lock into place or anything, but it does have a spring behind it. You can pull it back and hold it back. Your hop-up's in there. It says which way to do it on the hop-up itself, so that's kind of a plus feature. The handguard of the gun is kind of it's a cheaper feeling plastic. It's sort of like the ICS handguards, but you know, JG, you can't really ask for a lot more for the price. It does have rails, but they are sadly plastic, unlike the Tokyo Marui rails. As you can see, my teammate Camo has the gun wired up to Dean's connectors, so that's a plus for me at least. And he's got a battery bag on here to fit the 10.8 volt mini type battery that he always uses. The front side assembly is all metal, which is great. If you get a plastic assembly, it's kind of crappy, it sucks. You've got two front side options here, all the way up and all the way down. So that's kind of nice. You don't usually get adjustable front sights with armor lights and stuff like that. My teammate Camo also elected, like I said, to install this short little suppressor. I think it's like 110 mil long. He's using Plumber's insulation foam in it right now to give it kind of a muffled shot every time. And it's got an SR25 shorty barrel. It's about 350 mil long, and it goes to about right here in the barrel. So not super suppressed, but you're looking at a huge increase in accuracy, especially compared to other SIG 5.52s. Alrighty, that's the JG SIG 5.52. Now originally the gun's going to come with a 220 round high cap mag. My teammate Camo still has that, but he still uses his mid capacity mags instead. Now let's go over to the chrono station and see what it's shooting. Alright, I got this hooked up with a 9.6 volt mini type battery, and I'm using 2 5s. Alright, about 300 feet per second. That's excellent for CQB right there. Alright, so what do you guys think? Pretty cool gun? I think my teammate Camo paid like 108 for it at airsplat.com. And after all the stuff he's put in it, probably, I'd venture a guess at 300 total at most. Great tuning. I of course tuned it, so you can't expect anything less. 18 rounds per second, about 300 feet per second. I put a stock Classic Army spring in it, so 300 feet per second is pretty optimal. Looking at a great CQB gun here, guys. I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo23, signing off.